In this video, we're going to dive into the Tesla monitoring app that controls your solar and your batteries. Hi, my name is Anthony Sakari from New York State Solar Farm. We're a local solar installer here in the Hudson Valley. We install all SunPower panels and Tesla Powerwalls, as well as span smart panels and car chargers. So it's the full energy ecosystem for your home needs. But in this video, we are going to dive into the Tesla monitoring app. If you're watching this, you're probably looking at going solar and just interested to see what the monitoring app is, or you already have gone solar and got Tesla batteries installed and are just looking for a little basic introduction of what the app has in it, what it can do, is there customizable features. So we'll dive into that right now. So on your home screen, you can see on the top left corner, when you set your account up, you can name your home. I named my home the Powerhouse. So you could change that, customize it, and do that at any time. Then when you go below that, you could see the solar panels on the roof. It's showing what my solar is producing right now, 7.2 kW. It's showing my home, that the home is using 3 kW. It's showing that my power walls are at 99%. The solar is powering the batteries as well as the home, and we're not sending any back to the grid right now. Why is my batteries at 99%? I just ran a little test and went in an off-grid situation before testing out the off-grid button, which we'll get into a little later in this video. So after that, this gives you a basic rundown of your system. Always good to just have that heads-up display and see that your batteries are at 100%. Next, you go to the Energy tab. You can customize it on the top where it says today. You can go under day, week, month, year, and change the time range here. But just for the sake of this video, we're in today. And in today, where you have these buttons here on the top where it shows the home, and I could see what my home used today, 62.3 kilowatt hours. And you could touch the screen on your phone or iPad, and you'll have that haptic feedback, and you'll see where you could just scroll over the grid, this graph, and see what you used at different times throughout the day. 9.2 kW spike, that's actually at 8:35 a.m. So what was going on at that time? Maybe the dryer was running, dishwasher on, things were running at different times. Maybe my electric car needed to get topped off, and that's what that little surge came from. But pretty cool. You could just go over the top of the screen. Right now, that's what my home used, 62 kilowatt hours for the day. Then you click on the solar, and you could see what the solar has been producing throughout the day. So right now, it's around 1:30 in the afternoon in January, and we produced 37 kilowatt hours so far. And then you could click on the next one of the battery. You could see the battery. I just discharged it very quickly, maybe for like a minute or two, but you could see I pulled 0.2 kilowatt hours from the battery. Then you go under grid, and you could see what you pulled from the grid. So it shows here, from 12 a.m. all the way till the morning time, I was pulling from the grid. And then you could see that gray line actually dips down, and that's when we were sending power back to the grid. And you could see the minus on the top of when we were sending power back to the grid. And on the bottom, gives you a nice little layout, 41.8 kilowatt hours from the grid to the grid, 16.6. Net usage for today, 25.2 kilowatt hours. We'll back out of this screen. The next screen we're going to go to is Impact. In Impact, you'll notice on the top it shows self-powered. Why does it show self-powered? This is more if you're running your home in self-consumption mode and you have the batteries at night charging the home and solar is being produced during the day. That's not the way I have my system set up. That's not the way I recommend our homeowners in our territory set their systems up, because we have full phase one net metering here. In California and other states, they don't. Even in areas of New York, maybe there are different time of use plans where it would warrant you to use self-powered mode. But in our territory in New York, I like to leave our batteries on backup only mode because there really is no incentive to be using the battery at night. We like to leave ours at 100%. In the event something happens, we're ready to go. If I was in California or in these other states or in some areas of New York that you have a time of use billing plan and it does make sense to go into self-powered mode, you could totally do that. But also don't think that self-powered is offset. Below is offset. Self-powered is just showing solar, batteries, and grid and putting that in a chart together. That has nothing to do with your offset. Here in energy value, you could see $7. That's what energy I pulled from the grid today. I would have used $7 in electricity. Solar offset is the one that I always go to. And this is the one where our customers will get confused and I say, no, don't go to self-powered mode. Don't look at that graph. That graph is showing you everything solar batteries. Go down to solar offset. That's giving you the real data if you're trying to calculate how much you offset your utility bill. And for instance, today I offset my utility bill by 59%. The app is showing me. The home used 62.3 kilowatt hours and I got 37 kilowatt hours from solar today. The other great feature is looking at your backup history. If you go into all events, you could see here, anytime the battery was kicked in and you had a blackout situation or the grid was down or a storm happened, power lines were down, you're gonna see all those events here. The cool thing about this as well is some of our customers give me feedback like, I didn't even know we were in an off-grid mode. I had no idea until Tesla messaged me on the app and they saw the notification. Or in some circumstances, they just go on here and look and like, wow, I lost power on January 15th for 5 minutes and I lost on January 7th for 5 minutes. I had no idea about that until looking at it right now. So definitely cool to have your backup history in there. So now we're in settings and we're gonna go into Powerwall. When you click in Powerwall, you'll see your backup reserve state. The way I set our batteries up here in New York in our territory, and what I recommend our customers to do, not to say you can't change this and do what you want to do, but what we recommend is leaving your batteries at 100% state of charge. In the event a storm happens or an unforeseen event where you lose power, you'll always be ready with your batteries at 100%. You could also drop this down and play around with it, bring it to 50%. In the summertime, at different times of the year, it's a great feature. I love playing with this mode and I like seeing the batteries work at nighttime at different times of the year. But in New York, there's really no incentive to do that. I like to just leave my batteries at 100% in the event something happens. In other states that are on time of use plans or have demand charges, totally, you can go in here and set that up in time-based controls. So use energy to maximize savings based upon your utility rate plan. So if you click on that, you can go in here and customize all of those settings. But right now in New York, we don't have that issue. I leave mine on self-powered mode. We have full phase 1 net metering. So that's where I leave my batteries in standby, but you could totally come in here and say, you know what, I wanna run the batteries down to 50% every day, and it'll leave a 50% state of reserve in there just in case anything happens, but I always leave mine at 100%. Advanced charging options, grid charging, no, we cannot charge from the grid here in New York. And then if you go under Stormwatch, Stormwatch is something that gets brought up a lot in the beginning of the process. Customers are asking, hey, does my system come with Stormwatch? Yes, it does. All the systems that we install come with Stormwatch. When you get this app, you get all the features. So basically what Stormwatch will do is if you have your batteries, let's just say set to 50% reserve state of charge, and they don't go below that, what this will do is, and if the batteries are at, let's just say 50%, it's gonna bring that back up to 100% and get the batteries ready for a storm that's coming. So it's gonna wanna make sure your batteries are fully charged up, ready to go in the event you do lose power. The next thing you have here is your utility rate plan. For me, My utility wasn't popping up in the Tesla app at the time, so I went in here and put our price of electricity, which was at 19 cents a kilowatt hour. I just ran our bill for January, or I'm sorry, I think it was the past 2 months, November and December. I was at 26 cents a kilowatt hour. So you can go in this and update your rate pricing so you could see accurate savings based upon what your solar and your grid usage is. The next thing is phone pairing to the Powerwall so you can go in off-grid mode. So I'll back out of here and you could see it says go off-grid. So if you read it, it says this disconnects your home from the grid and uses the Powerwalls to simulate a grid outage. Reduce your loads to extend your time in off-grid. Your solar may curtail if your Powerwall is fully charged. I don't recommend using this off-grid option. I personally find it to be glitchy, and when you do an off-grid mode, when you go into off-grid mode, I find it a little difficult at different times to get out of off-grid mode. So if you want to simulate an outage, I personally recommend just flipping the main breaker in the Tesla gateway. That's the way that I found it the easiest to simulate a grid outage and not have to worry about you going off grid, clicking the button, and then going back on grid, clicking the button, and there's a lag there of like 5 minutes to get back on. Just flip the main breaker. It's a lot easier and you don't have to worry about it. I hope this video was helpful. If you've had any questions, please write them in the comments below. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of this video. If you found it useful, maybe think about liking the video or subscribing to the channel, where we try to do informational videos like this to not only help our own customers out, but help other customers that have gone solar in different states and are just interested in how the technology works and to better use some of the features in the app. All right, signing out. Talk with you soon. And Anthony from New York State Solar Farm.